G'day. Welcome to this week's episode of Fearless Singer. I have a very special guest with me. This is Ella Doneman. Ella is a beautiful, beautiful singer, performer. She's an advocate for disability and making the stage a way more safe and inclusive space for all people. And she's just a bloody delight. She's also a Fearless Singer member, and she has been for the last couple of years. And she has a big show actually on the weekend. So I thought I'd chat to Ella and let you know also about her show on Sunday afternoon. It's actually another very significant day on Sunday, and it's the birthday of someone very special who you'll be tributing. Who is that, Ella?
That's Blossom Dearie.
Ah!
Blossom Marguerite Dearie. Marguerite was her mother's name.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's so beautiful. And how old is she going to be?
It's a centennial birthday. It's the centennial birthday for Blossom. So it's pretty special. It's pretty special that the 28th lands on a Sunday, but a Sunday. So we're actually doing this performance on her birthday. So everybody's going to come and party.
Oh, I love it. And we're all getting together at the Jazz Music Institute, which is in Bowen Hills. Here in Brisbane or Meanjin. And so you have a band that's playing before you, Cool Struttin'.
Yes,
and then
I do.
And then two sets of Blossom Dearie songs that you've chosen. And you're performing alongside with an incredible band too. So talk us through who's playing.
Well, I have to shout out and say thank you to Greg Quigley and Jeff Usher in particular, because Jeff and me and Greg sort of, I think 6 months ago, sort of had a bit of a chat, and both of them said, "Oh, a Blossom Dearie tribute. That's fantastic. Yes." And they sort of like went, "Yes, it's going to happen. Yes." I just want to thank so many people. It feels like it's my own Oscars here. I want to thank Jeff and Greg Quigley's band, Cool Struttin'. Some of the Cool Struttin' band is playing in the Blossom band.
Yeah, who's some of your members? You've got, so Jeff Usher's playing piano. Who's playing bass?
Double bass is Nick Maskell.
Nick Maskell, yeah.
Murray Donald is on drums. No, sorry, I got it mixed up. Sorry, Murray, you're on guitar. I knew that.
He's probably a really great drummer as well.
Murray Donald on drum. I did that again. Sorry, Murray. Murray Donald on guitar. Jeff Usher on keys, and he's the musical director of the show as well. Nick Maskell, double bass, and Dominic Machin on drums.
Oh, that's a fantastic
and
band.
Me on vocals.
And headed by the wonderful Ella. So, Ella, why? Talk us through Blossom Dearie, your connection to her.
Well, funny you should say this, because, and please, I hope everybody enjoys this story. She's been with me for half of my life. I'm almost 43. When I was about 22, the Jazz Singer Jam Nights were at Roma Street Parklands.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing a few songs there, and then life got busy and I forgot to sing, and that's another part of my life. But back then when I did a few jazz jams at Roma Street Parklands, I remember one night my Sydney friends came for dinner at my folks' place with me and my folks. And they missed the jazz jam that day, the previous week. So they said to me, sing us a song after dinner." So I sang a song. It wasn't a Blossom song, but it was just a cheery. I think it was Blue Skies, actually.
Oh, cool.
Because Blue Skies, you can't be down and sad when you sing Blue Skies. It's like the joy of life, singing Blue Skies. Anyway, after I sang, our friend Derek said, "You sound so much like Blossom Dearie." And my dad, sitting next to Derek, said, "That's right. Oh, my goodness. Why didn't I notice this?" And at that point, I was like 22, and I just went, this is ridiculous. I don't know who she is. She sounds like a Roald Dahl character from one of the Roald Dahl books. Who calls themselves Blossom Dearie? You're pulling my leg. I swear my dad and Derek were pulling my leg, but no, they weren't pulling my leg. And Dad immediately sort of said, "Here are CDs. Go and listen to them." Those were the days when CDs were still around. So I listened to her and I loved her, and part of me hears Blossom in my voice, but part of me doesn't. She's just a very special, unique person and musician.
Mm-hmm.
She's pretty special because I didn't know Blossom personally, but I don't see her as a professional. I don't see her as having an ego. And I don't see her as a person out of the spotlight, out of performing, as having a bit of an ego either. She's just genuine. And she's smiley, and she's cheeky, and she's quirky. The lyrics that she writes are just so witty and unique. They make you laugh. Yeah, and that's why I love learning Blossom songs, because I'm laughing in my living room and I might be laughing on stage. I don't care.
Ella, I just want to make mention of something. It's lovely. You're very similar to me. You're talking about Blossom in present tense, like she's still alive.
Oh,
she has passed away. It is going to be her 100th birthday. We'll be celebrating with her. She's up in the skies. But it's interesting when someone leaves such an enormous legacy, their body of work, and they made such a mark. It feels like they are still here with us, Yeah. So I do exactly the same thing. I don't talk about people in past tense either.
No,
if they're living or non-living. Yeah.
That's right. It's wonderful. It's kind of like they're our sort of spirits.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And friends,
Yeah.
It's like you've had such, even though you've had a connection with Blossom since you're 22, I'm sure, like over the process of this year of, collating the songs that, you're going to be singing for us on Sunday, it's deepened the connection, like I'm just hearing you saying, here I am in my living room laughing along with her lyrics. How hard was it to choose the songs? Can you talk us through that process?
Hard. Oh my God, so hard. I mean, she sings in French. She sings it. Oh, I think there's one song in Italian, but mainly French.
How did you settle on? So how many songs are you singing for us?
16.
16. Wow. 16 Blossom Dearie songs.
Jeff and I got to about 25.
Yes.
And then he immediately went, that has to get down to 15 or 16. And it took us a while. And we had to say no to songs that we dearly, dearly loved and wanted in the show. But that's draft 2 of the show, and I hope that happens later in the year.
Oh, absolutely. It has to.
Yeah. but yeah, you won't really be hearing me sing French this Sunday, which I'm kind of glad about.
Baby steps.
No, baby
not
steps.
Not that this is a baby step. This was like a massive leap across the river.
Yeah, especially in the last month when I've been catching up with friends, and they're asking about the show, and they know like 5 of the really big songs. They're really witty and wordy, and like they're all asking me, you will have your lyric folder there with you? Like, are you printing the lyrics out in a folder, or are you using an iPad, or what are you doing? Like, I'm going, yes, I'll have support. It'll be on my music stand just in case. Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, that's the thing. We have spoken before on here on the podcast and in our weekly sessions. So Ella is in the Fearless Singer membership. We do group coaching every Monday night. So we talk about different concepts and things that come up, and we coach ourselves through whatever's coming up for us for the week. And yeah, one of those things is around like using a stand, and I have spoken about this idea of the stand can sometimes be a little bit of a disconnect with the audience, if you're always referring to it. But at the same time, if you're learning a massive body of work, and you've just started, and like Ella just mentioned, she said, later during the year will be draft 2 of the show. So also recognizing that our shows or our concepts, they grow and develop. It's perfectly understandable and okay to have a little, stand at the side. You don't have to be it doesn't have to be right in front of you, and just have one eye, go, oh yeah, that's right. Because, Blossom Dearie's lyrics are, like you said, very wordy, and you want to get it correct because otherwise it won't make sense.
Yes.
She has some really killer gags, and you don't want to ruin the punchline.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's all about, the punchline.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I'm very okay now about, if you need a stand, you need that support in order to do the music justice. It always comes back to what does the music need,
Yes.
Then you do that. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited for you, Ella. It's going to be, honestly, a really beautiful show, lots of heart. Ella, sorry, I hope this isn't going to embarrass you, but Ella is just such a bubble of joy, and that absolutely comes through in your singing and your storytelling as well. And I just want to, you are such a bubble of joy. You've also had to overcome a lot in your life, when it comes to accessing support for disability. The stage leading up to this point hasn't always been an inclusive, safe space for people with disability. And this is why you're now also on a crusade of, okay, let's make this better. We can do better. Yeah. Come on, guys.
Absolutely.
So, just talk us through, and I hope it's okay to talk about your disability and how that may have... was that one of the reasons why you stopped singing for a little bit? Because you mentioned before that there was a time when you were singing and then you kind of stopped for a bit.
Yeah. Well, the time that I stopped, like 20s into 30s, I was doing the study thing. I was at Griffith University doing a Bachelor of Education in Special Education. I specialised in vision impairment. Because I didn't want to do cerebral palsy. You're able to specialise in one disability area in your final year of study, and I basically said to everyone who wanted to listen to me, I was born with cerebral palsy. I'm not doing physical impairments as a strand. I know it already. What other strand? What other what other disability would I like to? And I had a few friends then going, oh, do vision impairment, do VI. And I did. And that was fun because I had a fantastic lecturer and tutor. There was 4 of us in that year specialising in vision impairment. We got to learn Braille. We got to have fun with a 3D printer and learn about vision impairment and computer programs and things like that. I had a go at writing music in Braille, which is tricky stuff, but that was fun. That was fun. So so as a person with disability, going back to that, I stopped singing because the uni work, being a student, getting to and from uni, and needing extra time for absolutely everything, not just for me, the physical side of things. Like I walk slower than everybody else. I walk with a limp. But to make sure I'm not cramming all my study and assignment work all in the last minute. I'm not one of those people. So I had to really span it out over the years. Instead of a 4-year course, I did it in 5. And this is where I get even more interesting, I guess, and unique. And that is to say I have a visible disability. I've just talked about a visible disability, but I also have an invisible disability. And that's a secondary condition to the cerebral palsy. And that is epilepsy. And my nerves at the moment, getting ready for a show in 48 hours time, I'm keeping everything at bay with my epilepsy and my nervous system. I don't want to say I'm a lucky epileptic, but I do have to have that dark sense of humour about me in life, because I've had epilepsy since I was 12 years old. So epilepsy and I have had to be best friends for 35 plus years. Just had to be, you know. And with best friends, like actual best friends, you hate them sometimes, you love them sometimes, and they stick around.
Oh, that's an awesome reframe.
So, it's funnily enough, around the same time I started being a Fearless Singer member, I discovered what the emblem of the sunflower is, which shocked me. I went, oh my God, I should have known this years ago, decades ago. The emblem of the sunflower, whenever you see that on a lanyard, on a brooch, when somebody's wearing it, it's to do with, hey, please look at me. I have an invisible disability. It's the emblem. It's the motto.
I didn't realise that.
Yeah.
So just a bit of context. Part of Ella's brand. It sounds so cheap when you say it like that, but it's more than a brand. It's been a very, pertinent symbol in your life. Has been this beautiful sunflower. So you can see behind Ella, she has a yellow wall that she's painted herself.
Yeah.
You wear a lot of sunflowers. We're in the process of getting Ella's website built, and we've definitely included the sunflowers. And it's always been like a symbol of joy for you, like a way of being. But now you've since discovered, actually, it's an emblem for invisible disability.
It's
amazing.
Like, this was meant to be. But absolutely, it's amazing how life does that to you, and you just smile and you go,
Gives
this
you these
is
symbols.
where I'm meant to be.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Yeah. I love it because one of the things that prevents my flexibility and independence is the lack of driving. I would love to be a driver, but you have to be 2 or 3 years free of any seizure. My seizures are very well managed. I have one regular, I call it regular seizures, like a regular seizure once a month. And by myself and with loved ones, I get through that one seizure a month. But that still prevents me from driving. So spoiler, but not spoiler, I changed the lyrics of I changed a line of Blossom's lyrics so it gets more personalized to me and my story, and that is in the song Sunday Afternoon, after a solo from my musicians, I come back in with going far in my motor car. She doesn't sing it that way, but I do, and that's in reference to my car, my driving experience. It's a Sunday afternoon. I'm in my motor car and I'm going places. And funnily enough, this is how I do it. Like, I might have seizures for the rest of my life and I might not be able to drive ever, but I will always have that yellow wall behind me.
Yeah.
That is the color of my first car if I ever get my license. But for now, without a license and without that bit of independence, I have a yellow wall.
I love
and
that.
I think that just keeps me smiling and saying, I've got my yellow wall. I have my quiet space. I have my safety.
You have your yellow soul. You have a you have a
Thank
joyful.
you.
Yeah, it's just it.
Thank you.
And it's interesting. You mentioned before about epilepsy. Obviously, it's a nerve condition, and part of the process of managing your wellness is to keep yourself in regulation. So leading up to this, momentous gig. This is your first show. You're where it's an Ella Doneman. Well, we've called it Blossoming Ella Presents. This is your company. It's a huge deal. So managing the nerves and to keep yourself well. That's part of the process of being a performer with this invisible disability.
Yep. Yeah, it is.
And you do it beautifully, by the way. You've just got such a swag of tools that,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so we were planning to do this podcast yesterday afternoon, and not this morning, but I talked to you yesterday afternoon, so I just woke up from a big sleep and I really needed that sleep.
Good on you.
So I think, my nervous system really needed that extra sleep.
Yeah.
I needed that nana nap.
Yeah. It's just really, for everyone, it's just learning to read the signs and the signals in our body, isn't it? Yeah. You're mentioning before that epilepsy and you are best mates, because you've had to be. But yeah, our body, our body is our best mate, it's there. And we learn the ins and the outs and, what makes it tick, what makes our body, feel poorly and learning how to manage that, because as performers, we're our product. Our body is our instrument, is inside of our our larynx and our vocal folds and our mind. So it's keeping all of those things in check. And
it's super tricky because sometimes, in the last year, I've seen you and other friends perform in the heat of summer.
Oh.
And you're performing in different venues, all around Brisbane, but it's summer and I'm here sitting on my couch looking at Facebook going, yes, you're out there. I love what you're wearing. I love your floppy hat.
Just taking you back to this point. Yeah, Ella really wanted to do a Fearless Singer jazz jam, which we had at the Bearded Lady, and it was in the height of summer. It was so bad that day. I think I had a migraine for 3 days afterwards. And one of our beautiful Fearless Singer members, I won't name her, and she'll listen and probably die when I say this, she got so overheated, she just went, Mel, I have to go. As soon as she sang, and she literally walked outside and her nose projectile just bled, just went, and she vomited. It was, the heat was so insane that actually, in retrospect, it was actually irresponsible to do a show that day. It shouldn't have happened, so let alone somebody with disability. The able-bodied people in the room were having such hard time implications from that. And I remember you feeling really disappointed. You're like, oh, I feel like I've let you down. And I said, Ella, you would have made yourself extremely unwell if you had come. And I think that kind of gave you that piece of, oh no, I don't have to always be pushing myself in extreme conditions. In fact, no one should. It just has to be a rule. No one should. Yeah.
And I guess I guess walking the talk, living with disability, you have to grow up faster than what I'm going to call you able bods out there.
Yep.
You got, as a person with disability, no matter what condition, you grow up fast in a very different way, and you need to say no to things more because of that condition or because of side effects or it and that hurts sometimes because you kind of feel like you're a grandma already and you're in your 20s, but yeah, that's one of the lessons,
part of the living with actually I remember telling you about this. I think I've also just through your education, my awareness for the need for better access and support for people with disability has increased. And, I've been with you for about a year, so learning from you. And then I remember I was over at Carindale and I had to I bought a coffee machine over at Harvey Norman, but I'd parked over at the Carindale shops. Yeah. And I was like, oh, shit, I just made a mistake. I didn't realize what I'd done. And so I had to, bring this trolley over with this heavy coffee machine and then got to one of the access points and realized, oh, my God, there's no ramps. There's no – and I was so tired. It was hot. I was like, what the fuck? What if I'm literally in a wheelchair? There is no way to get up. And I think it was just at that moment where I was like, oh, my God, this world is not set up for it's only set up for able-bodied people. Yeah. We have things are getting better, but we have a long way to go to be more inclusive as a society. Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that story. Yeah. On here, because it made me so upset. I was like, at that point I was busy, I was tired, it was hot, and I had to go, mate, toughen up and pick up that bloody coffee machine and walk. There are people that can't do that, and I just felt really disappointed. I felt really disappointed for that society lets people down.
And sometimes it just happens to us with disability every single day. And then if we're asked on that day, or, if we've had this experience 5 days of the 7 days of the week, if a friend or family member comes up and says, why are you so pissed off this week? I went, well, do I have to tell you the whole story about the last 100 hours?
Monday morning, when I had to get myself from here to here, and the other thing too, Ella, can I also mention? Ella also navigates big personalities. Ella came to a session the other day after getting an Uber. Is that okay to share this? I hope this isn't very triggering.
It's fine. Absolutely.
I should double check this stuff before I just
this is good. Go for it.
No, Ella came in visibly shaken. I'm like, mate, are you okay? She goes, I just had the Uber driver from hell, who was a born again Christian evangelical type that saw that you had a limp and decided to do some intense praying for you as they're driving through the tunnel. Yeah. And you were just like, oh, my God, please just get me to Browning Street safely. Yes. So not only are you navigating a world that's not set up for you. Yeah. And having, and it's not even just on a physical level, but on the social level, accessing support and having to jump through hoops to, pay for, things that you need to support you with your disability. Yeah. You have to also navigate bloody crazies. Yeah.
It hurts a lot. It hurts because she was driving me to Browning Street to you, and she was wishing the disability away, a snap of the finger, it will go away. No, if she asked me, do I want to be, have no disability, I'd have a big comeback answer for her. I really like my disability. I wouldn't wish my epilepsy on anyone, not even, a monster of a person. But I don't want to live without my CP. You can adapt with the CP. You can just make sure you do things as you age. Like with CP, you don't want to sort of get into that sort of like restrict your movements. So hydrotherapy is important, and exercise of whatever kind is important. To just and drinking magnesium and taking your vitamins, and everybody does this as well. But growing. No, I don't want to be without my CP ever, because that's all I know. I was born with CP, and yes, it was very terrifying for my parents, especially my mother, because she was known as, like, the doctors were going, oh, no, your baby will be fine. Just wait and wait and wait. And my mum just went, no, something is up with my baby. Please do the extra testing. And when these doctors and specialists sort of, wanted to shut my mother up, okay, we'll do the extra testing. And funnily enough, I was diagnosed. So it's really nice to have gung-ho parents. Thank you, Mum and Dad. I hope you're watching.
I love your parents. I really do. They're
I do
such
too.
incredible people, and I love your mum. I just love your mum.
She calls you Fearless Mel.
Fearless Mel. It's so funny because the S and Mel, so it's Fearless Mel.
Yeah.
G'day everybody, it's Fearless Mel. Stinking up rooms everywhere I go. Yeah, look, that's really powerful stuff, Ella. And you know what? Can I just also acknowledge something else that you're really aware of, obviously, because of, I just want to just mention to everybody, not only do you have lived experience disability, but you also work in this area. So you offer support to other performers. You're an advocate. That support can look like you going on tour with a performer with disability and help them, navigate the twos and throws, the stage. It could look like, helping someone get onto the stage, making sure that it's safe, like there's a safe thoroughfare for that. Yeah. And even though you get paid for that, I've seen you just go to other people's gigs and just see a need and then go, oh, I'm going to get up and help that person. We won't mention any names, for anonymity, but, you've seen a need and gone, oh, and I've taken you to a gig and watched you go, oh, okay, there goes Ella. And there you are leading somebody who's vision impaired up to the microphone to make sure that they're okay. And
then I'm on the sidelines until they finish performing, and I just go up and I'm their extra hand, extra arm.
You're so seamless. It's like you're this little ninja. It's like... It's like all meant to happen. There's nothing to see here. It was just seamless. So I was just really like...
Ninja.
Oh, I know that person. I'm really... Oh.
I love that. Yeah. Little Ella the ninja.
Yes. I do like blossoming Ella, though. Yeah. So you're seeing, obviously, there's still a need to make this stage safe because,
Absolutely.
Let's think of it. Think about it in terms of what's on there. There's equipment. There's leads. There are edges.
Yes.
Oh, my God. You can literally walk off and hurt yourself.
Yes.
People who are able-bodied have had injuries on the stage. Yeah. Oh, can I also share a quick story, Ella? Sorry to hold the space. The other day, I'm teaching at Mount Gravatt State High School, and there's a little girl there who's got the most beautiful voice. And I said, why didn't you audition for the solo spot, so for this concert. She said, oh, look, I had a bit of she said, an awkward experience on the stage. And I was thinking, when you just think, oh no, she got a bit nervous, or, she misread somebody's face, or a kid heckled her or something. No, guess what her awkward experience was? She was on stage and the lights above came loose and literally, smacked down to the floor and just literally swept by her ear. Like, that's how much it missed her. And she said, so as you can imagine, I've got a bit of PTSD over that.
Of course.
Yeah. I said, oh my God, darling, I'm so sorry that happened to you.
Was she bleeding? Was she cut?
No. She just narrowly escaped, but it was that shock of, like, she could feel it, next to her ear as it dropped to the ground, So, this idea of, sorry, that's
none
probably
of that.
I shouldn't
just none of that
people.
For anybody, please.
No, exactly. So there is a need to make sure that stage is safe for everybody and also accessible for people with disability.
Well, that's right. I mean,
yeah.
It goes back to, my education degree at Griffith, but just doing a job,
Yeah.
When life and the world is accessible for people with disability, everybody wins. Yeah? So when there's a ramp at a shopping centre, it helps Mel get her coffee machine home. Yeah. When, hey, texting each other. Everybody sends texts every day. That was originally for people who were hearing impaired, who were deaf, yeah? Mm. But now we're all using it, aren't we?
Mm.
Voice to text. We have this little button on our iPhone that we use, and we just record our voices and it produces text, and then we just copy that and email it to whoever.
Mm.
Saves all of us time and energy, and it's very practical, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Everybody wins.
Everybody wins.
That's one to really let that sink in. Let's just talk about your process, because it's not going to be a straightforward thing setting up the stage for you on Sunday.
Yeah.
Which is perfectly okay, but talk everybody through what that process of having to think through your setup. This is something that we all take for granted. We just go, oh, I'll just walk up there, pull the microphone out and sing. But it's a bit different. So talk us through that.
It's nice that I have been in the JMI space before,
mm-hmm.
And I know it's only one step up to the to the stage, and there are two aisles between the seats for the audience. And everything, like I've known the JMI space basically since your launch, Mel, for Fearless.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that was the first time I was in the space.
Mm.
And for the last 3 months or so, yes, I've had rehearsals in the rehearsal rooms at JMI, but the performance space was being used at that time. So I've been making notes, and you've actually caught me today. In about 4 hours' time, I'm in the space for about 3 hours with all of my musicians and me. Jeff Usher walks the talk as well. He's completely blind, so it's really nice to be able, for me or Murray or Dom or Nick, to have the space to walk Jeff to the piano and get him in a safe space, and he knows that space as well, which is lovely. So my practical thinking is, okay, I do want my musicians up on stage before I get there.
Mm-hmm.
So once I can see that Jeff is seated behind the keys and he's raring to go, and so is everybody else, then it's my turn, and I'll be up there very close behind, very close after that. My main concern, and I've shared this with you and a few of our friends, is like Cool Stratton. It's a big band. There are many music stands and microphone stands and things like that. So I'd like this from Cool Stratton doing their opening opening spot before the Blossom show. I'd love my friends to just take away the extra obstacles.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just make sure that I'm bringing my own singing stool.
Yep.
And that will be placed between where Jeff is at the piano and where Murray is sitting on another stool. So please just pop my stool near the near that.
I love
sort
that
of like,
you're talking us through it, but I'm getting the instructions.
Yeah, you're going to be my helper. Thank you.
That's me. Yes.
So I'd like my black singing stool to be in that little curvy bit of the piano.
I know exactly where you're talking. Yep.
Yeah. But to look nice, like I don't want to block, Murray in any way.
Yeah.
At all.
No,
hopefully.
you'll just be, so there's a grand piano, and it has like a bit of a curve, and you're just in there. Yep.
Yeah, I'm in there.
Yep.
And then probably my music stand is to the far right of me.
Okay.
So music stand is closer to Jeff on.
Yep. But
on
still
piano.
Not blocking him, but
it's not blocking Jeff.
Yep. Yep.
At one level, just one level, because I'll peek over at my music folder on the music stand, and then comes the microphone stand with microphone, of course, attached to the microphone stand at one level, and that's closer to me and me sitting on my singing stool.
Yeah. Okay. I was just thinking, in terms of would you be bringing water or anything on the stage?
Yeah, I mean, I early on, thinking about this Blossom project, I just wanted to dress up that stage a little bit more.
Yeah.
But because I sort of went, I've got this really wonderful drinks tray and these wonderful tall glasses that would look very sophisticated for the Blossom show. But then literally last week I went, no. Jeff would prefer a water bottle at his feet.
Yep.
At the while he's sitting playing, and I haven't checked with the other musicians yet, but I will do that this afternoon. And therefore, I'd like to sync myself with all the musicians. So if Jeff's having a water bottle just there at his feet, I'll do the same.
Okay. I just also want to mention too that whatever water you drink on the actual performance doesn't really help the voice. It's more of a
doesn't it?
No, it's more it's you need to hydrate for about 48 hours before. So having your 8 glasses, or you might even want to just add in an extra 2. So it's what you drink before the show that's going to help with hydration. The reason why you see people with water bottles and water, it's more of it's a mind over matter thing. You think you are hydrating, but you're not. So it's like a bit of a placebo. Yeah.
Well, I'm learning lots right now.
Yeah. So it's one of those, I learned that at the con in the vocal ped. They're like, you can take a water bottle up if you want, but it doesn't really do anything,
Okay.
Yeah, that's not how hydration works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, I think sometimes it's really nice to have water there, because it is just like a little bit of it's a tiny little break away from the audience, because that's a lot of energy that you're expelling and putting out there, and sometimes you just need just those tiny little breaks, micro breaks,
Micro breaks,
yeah, just to kind of reground yourself, and sometimes and also the swallowing, actually. The swallowing is helpful because you're resetting your larynx.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
if you are getting a little bit, tight, just that pure act of helps to bring the larynx back into its neutral position if it's a bit high or low. Yeah.
And these micro moments, what can I do for my nervous system?
Well, just I always picture you could either do the deep breath, the through the mouth and release. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love people that do little sighs or make little funny little noises, or they go, oh! I do that, like, because I get excited. They're just little releases. Yeah, I think for me, I have a visual. It's a little bit phallic. I imagine that there's a vacuum on the top of my head, and it's just like giving me a little, like, sucking out all the, all the stuff. All the stuff that's swimming around my brain. So I always know that if I'm empty, I'm performing from a genuine space of the present moment.
Okay.
If I'm not overthinking things, and the vacuum cleaner,
yeah,
helps me just go poof, and you can and it's a quick visual,
Yes.
even when you're on stage.
Yeah.
It's a little recentering.
That's
thing.
Great. I don't have one yet, but I do.
I think you could use so Ella will be bringing a sunflower. It's going to be a few little surprises, but we're not going to tell people what to expect. But you will be receiving a little gift on the day.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're receiving the gift of Ella and her beautiful voice and music and the band. But yeah, I guess also too, like you'll have your sunflower. So, that could be a visual, that just looking at it.
There's a bit of a, I'm not going to spoil it for everybody now.
Yeah.
But, as a number of my friends, my fearless singer tribe, and, lots of friends know that for the last couple years, when I've done jazz jams, I hold sunflowers, real sunflowers. And after one song, I give it to the most joyous person in the audience, whether I know them or not. And I've been known as like, oh, you're the sunflower woman. Why the sunflower?
Now you can say.
Now you know.
Yeah.
I've had sunflowers. I've loved sunflowers since I was a kid. It's just a happy, everyday kind of flower for me.
Oh, you just cut out. Talk again. Hello. Oh no, your voice cut out, Ella. Hang on. Hey, can you? Oh no, you're back. Oh, she's back.
I'm back.
Yeah. What did you say? What was that last part?
I'm known as the sunflower girl. Like, why the sunflower? Oh, just because. Oh, yeah, that is my thing, to look down and then look back up and smile. But
yeah, and then you've got something. It's earthy. It's got a beautiful smell. So yeah, just really, even if you just you could even just go. As long as it doesn't affect your sinuses, and then you're back to it.
That's true.
You're back.
It
back
actually, like 2 years ago, I chose the sunflower to do all my gigs with, like to perform my gigs with sunflowers, because I didn't want the audience to see my hands, my arms, and how my left arm is a bit shorter than my right. There's only sort of like 3 to 5 centimeter difference between the length of my arms, but I did not want the audience to see that.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So that's the physical side of things for me. But now that I've practiced getting up on different stages and singing 1 or 2 songs, I need less and less of. I just don't care anymore. You can ask me questions after I sing. Why is your left hand shorter than your right? Yeah. But
I love that. Do you feel like you've also just mentioned a very important tactic in, when people ask, how do you do it? How do you just stand up there and do that? You said the word practice. Performance is literally a practice, and you find as many opportunities as you can to get up on that stage. Yeah. Yeah. When you first started, I'm sure you felt really scared.
I did.
Yep.
I did. I'm still scared.
Yep.
I'm still scared.
But there's something that obviously, despite that fear, it's still you're still getting up there and doing it. Is it getting easier?
I think it definitely gets easier the more you practice.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, you just said that people can ask me questions about my disability, and I'll happily answer. So clearly the stage is becoming a safer space for you every time you get up there. Yeah.
It is becoming a safer space, and it's nice to have like-minded friends. You're in the audience, or even like I remember I thought I may see you at a jazz jam at the jazz club one time, but you weren't there. You were busy with doing other things. But one of my little mantra things that I say before I get on stage is, my people are in the room. And that night,
I love that.
I love that. I love that.
My people are in the room.
My people are in the room. So even if you didn't show up that night or I didn't know anyone, I still say my people are in the room.
That's like when I look out to my audience in the beginning, I was like, they're my family and they're my friends, even though they weren't. They all kind of look like people from Bundaberg to me, because I've grown up singing, at community events in Bundaberg. It's like, they're all Bundaberg, even though they weren't. They're Brisbaneites. And now it's lovely because I sing to predominantly the Greek community. So it's like, they are literally all my family and friends.
That's great.
My people are in the room. That is so powerful. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, you're welcome.
That's excellent. And the fact that, the more we just get used to the space, and also too, whether you have a disability or not, be comfortable with adjusting the space to suit you. You're taking that time, thinking it through, asking for what you need, ask for the support, ask for what you need. If you can't hear yourself through the foldback, say it, bloody hell, say something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And sometimes pre-thinking that, like a day or two before the gig or a week before the gig, and then getting to the gig a little bit earlier to have that conversation with that person and then look after yourself as well.
Yeah, that's it.
And
ultimately, you are looking
after
yourself. Yeah.
And if the musicians need sheet music, you give them that music earlier. So, but you still have time to sit down and get grounded. A new phrase of mine recently is, I want to be grounded for sound.
Yes, nice.
So, I usually look at my feet when I do say that to myself. I want to be grounded for sound.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
That's it. I mentioned this week in our class, our Fearless Singer membership class. It happens every Monday. Is that I feel like our full-time job as performers, but actually it should be our full-time job as human beings, is just to come back into regulation. Because we know that we can perform at our absolute best when our nervous system is regulated. And that might look like doing some nervous system regulation exercises. It could even look like what you did yesterday. You took a nap, because you knew that you would be in a much productive headspace over the next 48 hours if you honored your body and took that nap. So it's just, really learning to tune into those things. Don't choose the having to get stuck into the work when your body is literally depleted and tired. Go take a rest. Don't do things in that flustered state. Take a deep breath, reset your nervous system, get a clear plan, do your best. Ask for what you need. Never be afraid to ask for what you want. Never apologize for what you want or what you need.
I agree.
It's very simple. This is what Mel, thank you in advance for clearing the stage or helping me the musicians clear the stage, after Cool Struttin', because it means myself and Jeff Basher will not trip over. Thank you for your service.
Yes. Yeah. And I will probably I won't be in the audience when Cool Struttin' are doing their thing, but I will be, backstage. Yeah. And I will be texting you that thank you with emojis.
You don't need to.
That makes meaning.
Yeah.
Well.
Thank you, sound engineer. That foldback monitor needs to be a little bit slightly here because of my hearing, Thank you, sound engineer, for making sure that leads are all taped down. That should be a thing anyway. Do you know what I mean? Yep. Like, I can't really hear myself in the foldback. That needs to be up a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Could I have a little bit of reverb in the foldback? These are some of the things you can ask. Can I have a little bit more of Jeff, the piano, in my foldback monitor?
Yeah.
So, it's just very clear, and followed by a thank you.
Yeah.
Not you're not hurting anybody.
Yeah.
And you're making sure that you have it's important for you to be having a good experience.
Yes.
Because that's what gets communicated to your audience. We're beacons of joy. That's our service. We're entertaining people. So therefore the conditions need to be right for us.
Yeah.
Sometimes
absolutely.
The conditions can't always be perfect. There's always a bit of give and take, but we always, we ask for what we need. And if the sound engineer goes, look, if I put you up higher, that's going to affect the gain. It's going to give you a bit of feedback. Then of course you say, oh, look, yep, no worries.
Yeah. And all of this takes time. Sometimes you don't have time, like when you have multiple singers on stage, you don't have much time in between to move obstacles around, or that's when you really do need your helpers.
Yeah.
Not because you can't do it, but because everyone needs helpers.
That's it.
And you don't have to justify, like I wanted to add, you don't need to justify yourself every single time. You don't need to tell everyone, whether they know you or not, why you need these changes.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't have to be everybody's business. You don't have to keep repeating it. Yeah, absolutely. That's beautiful, Ella. Thank you so much. This episode has been it's so jam-packed with gold. I think, for one, helping able-bodied people understand what it is like to navigate the world, particularly the performing world with a disability, educating us on the fact that, there's the disability that you can see and there's the invisible disability, and that needs to be more on the consciousness of society, that we need to be talking about this more. So thank you for sharing your personal story on that and what that means to you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
And also, you've taken us through, able-bodied or not, what it means to make sure that the stage is safe for you before you start performing. That there's a lot of really beautiful advice in there, including just mentally preparing, organising these things first. Ella has been booking that space leading up to this event to make sure she is 100% familiar with it. So it won't be a shock to the nervous system when she has to then do 2 sets of Blossom Dearie songs, with a full band, which is a huge undertaking. Go and listen to Blossom Dearie and you'll understand what an undertaking this is. Which I just admire you so greatly. I just think you're just a fantastic performer, singer. You've got so much heart and soul. You've got so much to share with us through your storytelling, through, your advocacy work. And, you're just a blessing.
Oh,
thank you.
Mel, thank you. I'm lost for words, but I just want to say thank you, because that's so validating and so golden. It's golden. Thank you.
Like your
And I admire everything that you do, and thank you for taking me on for many years since Fearless started.
Oh, look, it's just been such a blessing to have you in the Fearless Singer membership. Yeah, sure, you know, it's really we're a cohort, we're a group, we're a club, we're a gang. We're coach each other, you know, so it's beautiful. Now, look, if you would like to learn more about Ella, please go to Facebook now and just type in Ella Doneman. So I'll have this, you know, on the video. So it's Ella Doneman, Doneman. Also, there's a link there. There's a Human Ticks link to come to her show on Sunday afternoon, which is also a name of one of Blossom Dearie's songs, Sunday Afternoon, that Ella mentioned before. So, yeah, there's that ticket link there on the Ella Doneman Facebook page. You can also follow Ella on Instagram, so it's at Ella Doneman. I'm pretty sure it was Ella Doneman Music. Let me just check this out.
Oh, hang on. I need to triple check. I think it's Blossoming Ella Music.
Oh, there we go. Gosh. Yes. Yes, it is. It's blossoming_Ella_music on Instagram. But if you just type in Ella Doneman on Facebook, you'll find her. Yeah. And then, come along on Sunday afternoon. It's going to be...
Please come along.
Amazing.
It's going to be a party.
It is going to be a party. You're not only going to be blessed with some incredibly beautiful music and performance, but also Ella's got a couple of little cheeky surprises for everybody, because she's just such a giving person. So yeah, please go and follow Ella. If you're also interested in joining us at Fearless Singer, the membership, it's a 12-month membership program. We meet weekly. There's a vocalizing session followed by a coaching session. You get monthly classes as well, anything ranging from vocal function anatomy to singer branding to spiritual practices and nervous system regulation exercises that helps us as performers and grow. And actually, we hold each other accountable, don't we, to do our goals?
We do. We do.
Ella was like, I think I could do a one-woman show. We were like, all of us were like, great. All right, what's it going to be? It wasn't that intense. It was way more gentle and soft.
It was like the cheery intense of, yes, you can do it.
Yes.
Can I?
Yes, I can. And look, and she's doing it. And it's going to be amazing. So that could be you. If you've got a dream to be on the stage, it may not take as long as what you think to get you up there. Fearless Singer, we have up to 10 events over a year, 10 opportunities for you to sing at a Fearless Singer event. So, yeah. Anyway, but enough about me. Go and follow Ella. Ella Doneman.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mel.
And she's soon to have a website as well, which is going to happen in the next couple of weeks. All right.
Okay.
Oh, thank you so
everyone.
much, Ella.
Thank you, Mel.